U.S. inflation cooled notably in November. U.S. unveils bipartisan bid to ban TikTok. Putin cancels annual year-end TV news conference. 30 special flights to carry Moroccan soccer fans to Doha. Meta among the 10 fastest-growing brands of 2022. Japan chooses war as Kanji of 2022. Next potential James Bond announced. Nigerian dog owners gather for 4th Lagos Dog Carnival.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on FUNDAY News. It is Wednesday, December 14th, and here are your top stories. U.S. inflation slowed more sharply than expected in November. The November U.S. Consumer Price Index increased 0.1% from the prior month and was up 7.1% from a year earlier, dropping from 7.7% in the previous reading. Wall Street is growing optimistic that the Federal Reserve will be able to ease up its tightening later this week. Bloomberg said stock futures on the S&P 500 jump over 3%, while yields on 2-year Treasury bonds sank more than 20 basis points after the release.
Every day, this Baltimore food pantry fills hundreds of bags with fresh groceries.
PGIM Fixed Income's multi-sector portfolio manager Lindsay Rosner said this was an important piece of the story of rate hikes working. First really meaningful beat. The New York Times said that the new data is unlikely to alter the Fed's plan to raise interest rates to a range between 4.25 and 4.5% at the conclusion of its 2-day meeting on Wednesday. But the moderation in price increases potentially increases the chances of a soft landing, or one in which the economy slows gradually and without a painful recession.
U.S. Republican Senator Marco Rubio on Tuesday announced bipartisan legislation to ban China's social media app TikTok. Rubio's office said that legislation would block all transactions from any social media company in or under the influence of China and Russia. Meanwhile, Alabama and Utah on Monday joined other U.S. states prohibiting the use of TikTok on state government devices and computer networks due to national security concerns.
Chinese-owned short video sharing app TikTok on state government devices and networks.
The actions follow warnings from FBI Director Chris Wray last month, who said the Chinese government could use the ByteDance-owned app to control data collection on millions of U.S. users or control the recommendation algorithm, which could be used for influence operations. Federal Communications Commissioner Brendan Carr said in a tweet on Monday that at least 9 states have taken action on TikTok based on the serious security threats it presents. Other U.S. states that have banned TikTok on state devices include Texas, Maryland, and South Dakota.
The Kremlin said on Monday that President Vladimir Putin will not hold his traditional televised year-end news conference this month. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov was asked in a call with reporters whether a date had been set for this year's big news conference, and replied, no, there won't be one before the new year. He said Putin would find other ways to communicate with journalists, noting that he had held other news conferences, including on his trips abroad.
And of all the topics covered in President Putin's annual news conference, it was the questions about Ukraine and possible NATO expansion.
Last year's year-end news conference took place on December 23rd, almost exactly 2 months before the invasion began, as the Kremlin was denying accusations that Russian troops massing near the border presaged an invasion. Peskov said that Kremlin would advise later on a date for another annual set piece. Putin's annual speech to both houses of Russia's parliament. Putin also traditionally holds a mammoth televised call-in every year with members of the public, called Direct Line with Vladimir Putin, which was last held in June 2021.
The national airline Royal Air Maroc will operate nearly 30 special flights between Casablanca and Doha on Tuesday, November 13th and Wednesday, November 14th to bring Moroccan fans to the World Cup semi-final against France. The airline said, to a historic qualification, a historic device. Nearly 30 flights will be provided by jumbo jets on the eve and on the day of the match between the airport Mohammed V of Casablanca, the most populous city in the kingdom, and Doha.
In Morocco's economic capital of Casablanca, the mood is electric despite the chilly weather.
In Casablanca, the economic capital of Morocco, the atmosphere was everywhere, and everyone, including the French, was talking about this match. For most young Moroccans who dreamed of immigrating to France, they decided to support Morocco at the World Cup. Moroccans used to follow France. For example, most Moroccans speak French every day. However, the victory in the semi-final for the Moroccans would be considered as a second Independence Day.
Oh, it's very easy. My name is Johnny. I have 3 people in my family. My favorite book is Harry Potter.
Despite a turbulent year for the company, Meta is the fastest growing brand among all adults in the US, according to a news report from Morning Consult. Meta, the parent company of social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram, is particularly popular among Gen Zers and baby boomers, and saw its purchasing consideration rise by 6.5% from January to October 2022. Morning Consult said the rise in its popularity is indicative of the success it's having in rebranding itself, along with an increased awareness and interest in the metaverse.
So-called purchasing consideration including the share of consumers who stated they would consider purchasing from the brand. The head of industry intelligence at Morning Consult, Joanna Piacenza, said average purchasing considerations for 2022 declined this year. What is interesting about Meta is it's really fighting against 2 really strong elements in association with Facebook, which does not have a very warm public opinion, and a CEO that's very public, which according to our research, doesn't do well for a brand.
The Kanji for sen, meaning war or battle, was picked as the single most representative Chinese character corresponding to the social mood in Japan this year. The selection for the 28th annual poll run by the Japan Kanji Aptitude Testing Foundation, based on votes cast by the general public, came as Russia's invasion of Ukraine and other international conflicts dominated headlines. The foundation received 223,700 answers. Sen had the highest number with 10,804.
In Kyoto, Chief Buddhist priest Seihon Mori of Kiyomizu Temple made the announcement by writing the character with a giant calligraphy brush on washi or Japanese paper, 1.5 meters high and 1.3 meters wide, at the renowned location. Japanese media Japan Today said Sen also illustrated the public's excitement about the heated battles the Japanese national soccer team fought at the World Cup held in Qatar in late November, despite the samurai blue having excited in the round of 16.
Ever since it was announced in 2020 that No Time to Die would be Daniel Craig's last jaunt in the tuxedo, rumors have been flying left, right, and center over who will be the next 007. However, in the last few weeks, the media has reported things seem to be speeding up, and the tiring speculation from various pundits now all seem to point in one direction: Aaron TaylorJohnson. According to The Sun, TaylorJohnson went for a screen test to be the next Bond in September, and producers and Barbara Broccoli loved him.
The media said this news was given more credence by mysterious celebrity gossip Instagram account Duxmoy, who have a knack for breaking celeb news. The account said Aaron TaylorJohnson is the next Bond. A mini trailer of just him doing the famous Bond shot is going to be released in March or April 2023 to announce him as a new actor. Euronews Culture also confirmed that TaylorJohnson has indeed been screen tested for the role and that he is the one to beat in the eyes of Bond producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael J. Wilson.
Hundreds of pets and their owners came together last Saturday, December 10th, for the 4th edition of the Lagos Dog Carnival. Border collies, pugs, and richly covered Lhasa Apsos dogs were the stars during the festival. The organizers said, since the dogs cannot express themselves vocally by saying thank you, we created Lagos Dog Carnival to thank the humans that take care of these dogs, and also give awards to these dogs. It's a way of appreciating people for the love they show to their animals.
The dog community is expanding in Nigeria, and people are becoming more aware of how to treat them. Last Saturday, pets were seen dressed in colorful costumes and accessories, and in some cases, sporting quirky sunglasses. Some dog owners had coordinated their outfits with those worn by their furry friends. Aside from the celebrations, the organizers wanted dog welfare to receive more widespread attention, as well as send a strong message to support, promote, and adopt dogs.
FUNDAY will help sharpen your English skill while keeping you informed on current international events. Tune into our other FUNDAY programs to learn more about the world's most important topics in English. Click the link below now to join FUNDAY for free. I'm Wade Lee, your host, and I'll see you next time.